This is one of the darkest, most heartbreaking stories you will ever hear. Ashley Meade, a young mother full of life and love for her little girl, thought she was safe in the hands of the father of her child. But jealousy and obsession turned her home into a nightmare. What followed was a crime so disturbing, so grotesque, that even seasoned investigators were left shaken. Her body dismembered, stuffed into a suitcase, and discarded along highways across America. This isn't just another crime story. This is the most horrifying, shocking, and unforgettable case you'll ever see. And once you hear it, you will never forget it. Ashley Meade was born on November 14, 1991, in the small town of Warren, Pennsylvania. She grew up in a large family surrounded by siblings, and from an early age she had a creative spirit. Ashley loved to sing, write poetry, and experiment with fashion. She was also deeply connected to nature and dreamed of seeing the world. By her mid-20s, she had already traveled through nearly every U.S. state, with trips to Canada and Mexico as well. After graduating high school, Ashley pursued liberal arts in New York before transferring to Louisiana State University in Shreveport. There she met Adam, a young man who would later play a central role in her life. For a few years, Ashley remained focused on her studies until tragedy struck. A devastating car accident left her facing a long, painful recovery. Though she fought her way back to health, the accident buried her under medical debt. The bills forced her to drop out of college and take on full-time work. Around the same time, her relationship with Adam began to fall apart. Eventually, they separated, but then Ashley discovered she was pregnant. Despite the setbacks she'd faced, she was overjoyed. She wanted her child to grow up in a two-parent home, and while she and Adam no longer wanted to be together, they agreed to co-parent their daughter. Adam had since moved to Boulder, Colorado to study culinary arts, and Ashley chose to follow him there. The two rented an apartment together, and soon after, Ashley gave birth to a baby girl, Winter Daisy. While they weren't a couple anymore, Ashley and Adam devoted themselves to raising their daughter, sharing responsibilities, and giving her as much love as possible. Ashley worked as a teaching assistant at a preschool, later joining a program dedicated to helping children from low-income families prepare for school. The work was demanding, but she had a natural gift with children. They adored her from the very beginning. By February 2017, Ashley was 25 years old, raising her one-year-old daughter and working with kids every day. But on February 13th, everything changed. She failed to show up for work. At first, her co-workers assumed something minor had come up, but when she didn't respond to calls or texts, concern grew. The next day, after she missed another shift, one colleague contacted police and asked for a welfare check. Officers arrived at Ashley's apartment complex and immediately sensed something was wrong. The outdoor lights by the entrance were switched on in the middle of the day. The front door was unlocked. Inside, the apartment appeared lived in, but Ashley, Adam, and Winter were gone. Her belongings, purse, phone, driver's license were still inside, yet her car was missing from the lot. In the kitchen, officers found something especially chilling: a half-cooked meal still sitting in the oven, as if dinner had been interrupted suddenly and never resumed. The more they looked, the stranger it became. When police contacted Ashley's mother, she said she hadn't heard from her daughter in days. More importantly, Ashley's beloved cat was still at the apartment, something her mother found deeply troubling. Ashley never left the cat behind, no matter where she went. Her mother began reaching out to friends and relatives, but no one had spoken to Ashley recently. Meanwhile, police tried to contact Adam, but his phone was off and he wasn't answering. Investigators grew more alarmed when they realized his phone had been deliberately powered down. Ashley's phone was handed over to forensics, and the data revealed crucial clues. Her last recorded activity was on February 12th, 2 days before she was reported missing. It had been her day off. She spent it with Winter, shopping, running errands, buying a new dress, and snapping a few photos before returning home. Neighbors helped detectives piece together her final hours. Around 6 p.m., one saw her taking out the trash. Then, just before 9 p.m., another neighbor heard a loud, heavy thud from Ashley's apartment, something that sounded like a body falling down the stairs. Moments later, silence. This detail alarmed investigators, especially since Ashley's phone activity stopped around that same time. The timeline suggested something violent may have happened inside her apartment that very night. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support means a lot to us and helps us grow. A huge thank you to everyone who's been watching. Detectives soon uncovered a new lead. Data pulled from Ashley's phone revealed that, shortly before she vanished, she had been dating a man named Harvey. Going through their messages, investigators noticed something unsettling in his tone, enough to make them want to question him face to face. When police arrived at Harvey's home, he fully cooperated. Without hesitation, he allowed them to search the house, even without a warrant. He insisted he had no idea where Ashley was and claimed he hadn't spoken to her in days. On the night she disappeared, Harvey said he had been with friends. Detectives checked his alibi, and it held up. His friends backed his story, and the data from his phone confirmed it. For now, Harvey was ruled out. With that avenue closed, investigators shifted focus. Ashley was still missing, and they needed to find Adam. They began reaching out to his relatives, hoping he had contacted someone. That's when they finally caught a break. Adam's parents in Louisiana told detectives that he had shown up at their house on February 13th, just one day after Ashley disappeared. To their surprise, he wasn't alone. He had brought Winter with him, but Ashley was nowhere to be seen. The visit seemed odd. Adam hadn't mentioned he was coming, and the drive from Colorado to Louisiana was nearly 1,000 miles. When questioned, Adam explained the trip had been planned, so Winter could spend time with her family. Despite the unexpected arrival, his parents were glad to see them. Adam stayed the night and left the following day, heading to Arkansas to visit his grandmother. Detectives asked his relatives to tell Adam to contact them immediately. At first, he ignored their calls, but eventually he switched on his phone and reached out. Over the phone, Adam claimed he had no idea where Ashley was. He said he had been trying to contact her, but she never answered. Then, he gave investigators his version of what happened on the night of February 12th. According to Adam, the two had gotten into a heated argument that turned physical. He admitted he hit Ashley. Afterward, he said, he left the apartment with Winter to keep things from escalating further. Because he didn't own a car, he also took Ashley's vehicle. At that moment, Adam told detectives he was already on the road, driving through Oklahoma. The more police considered his story, the more suspicious it sounded. Something didn't add up. But since Adam was out of state, they couldn't simply pull him in for questioning. Then investigators noticed a crucial legal detail. Adam's name wasn't on Winter's birth certificate. That meant he had no legal right to take her across state lines without Ashley's consent. Detectives seized the opportunity. They contacted Oklahoma authorities and asked them to detain him. It didn't take long. Patrol officers soon spotted Ashley's car and pulled it over. Adam was taken into custody, and thankfully, Winter was safe. But what investigators found inside the vehicle deepened their fears. Forensic teams searched the car and discovered blood beneath one of the back seats. Testing confirmed what they dreaded. It belonged to Ashley. For the first time, detectives had physical evidence suggesting Ashley might no longer be alive. But the question remained: what exactly had happened to her? That was about to change. Just as investigators were closing in on Adam, another clue surfaced. Soon after detectives spoke with his parents, they received an unexpected call from his younger sister. She explained that she hadn't seen Adam and Winter on the day they first arrived in Louisiana. Instead, she stopped by her parents' house the following morning. By then, her parents had already left for work, and Adam was supposed to be preparing for his trip out of state. The moment she walked in, his reaction unsettled her. Adam looked startled, genuinely shocked to see her. He seemed nervous, agitated, and his behavior immediately raised red flags. Then she noticed something even more disturbing. Cleaning supplies were scattered across the guest bedroom, and it was clear Adam had been scrubbing the floor. When she asked what was going on, Adam gave her a bizarre excuse. He said he had suddenly gotten sick, vomited on the carpet, and was just trying to clean it before leaving. When she offered to help, Adam refused sharply. Instead, he ushered her out of the house in a rush. Detectives didn't waste time. They headed straight to Louisiana and searched the home with a forensic team. What they found was chilling. In the guest bedroom Adam had been scrubbing, investigators uncovered multiple traces of blood. In the backyard shed, they discovered an electric saw and a barbecue lid, both smeared with blood. Testing confirmed what they already feared. The blood belonged to Ashley. At that point, there was no doubt. She hadn't simply vanished. Something horrific had happened to her. But questions remained. If Adam had killed Ashley in Colorado, why would he transport her body more than 1,000 miles away? And what had he done with it after leaving his parents' house? Detectives were preparing to confront him when the case suddenly took another grisly turn. That same day, February 15th, police in a small Oklahoma town made a disturbing discovery. A gas station employee stepped outside to take out the trash and noticed a brand new suitcase sitting near the dumpster. Curious why someone would throw away something like that, she unzipped it. What she saw made her recoil in horror. Inside was a human torso. Police arrived quickly and sent the remains for DNA testing. At first, they had no way of identifying the victim. But when word spread about Ashley Meade's disappearance, Oklahoma detectives reached out to their counterparts in Colorado. Samples were compared, and the results confirmed the worst. The torso belonged to Ashley. Investigators immediately pulled surveillance footage from the gas station. The cameras covering the dumpster told the story. The footage showed Ashley's car pulling into the lot. Adam stepped out, carrying the suitcase, and casually left it by the dumpsters before driving away. With that, detectives could finally piece together a timeline, a horrifying sequence that revealed what had likely happened to Ashley Meade. The evidence painted a chilling picture. Detectives believed Adam had killed Ashley on the night of February 12th, inside their apartment. What followed was not an impulsive act, but a calculated plan. By traveling to visit his relatives, Adam could create the illusion of a normal family trip, while secretly disposing of Ashley's remains across multiple states, making it far more difficult for police to trace. The blood found inside his parents' house in Louisiana confirmed their theory. Adam had brought Ashley's body with him. The next morning, after his parents left for work, he used their electric saw to dismember her remains. Then he loaded his daughter into the car and set out on the road. scattering evidence along his route. This realization left detectives facing a daunting truth. Adam had traveled hundreds of miles before being arrested. He could have dumped parts of Ashley's body anywhere along the way. Finding the rest of her remains would be like searching for a needle in a haystack. Still, investigators refused to give up. They carefully retraced his steps, gathering surveillance footage from every possible stop. Their persistence paid off. At a gas station in Myrtlon, Arkansas, cameras captured Adam tossing something into a dumpster. But by the time the footage was reviewed, the trash had already been hauled to a landfill. Determined, authorities launched a massive recovery effort. More than 40 searchers combed through the landfill for days. Yet despite the scale of the operation, nothing was ever found. The absence of Ashley's full body posed a serious challenge. Without it, medical examiners couldn't determine an exact cause of death. The torso that was recovered bore cuts and abrasions, some of which were inflicted while she was still alive. Likely defensive wounds as she fought for her life. But that was all they had. Meanwhile, Adam continued to deny everything. Even when confronted with the damning evidence, he refused to confess. He insisted he had left after an argument, taking Winter with him, and claimed Ashley was alive when he walked out. But detectives didn't need his admission. The trail of blood, the remains, the surveillance footage, all of it told the story. Adam was arrested and charged with murder. As prosecutors built their case, they uncovered one final damning piece of evidence: Adam's journal. Its pages revealed his dark thoughts long before Ashley's death. He wrote about wanting to kill her, filled with resentment over their arrangement. Adam believed Ashley was only living with him for the sake of their daughter. In a sense, he wasn't wrong. Ashley had made it clear their relationship was over, and she was staying for Winter's sake. But Adam wanted more. He longed for a romantic reconciliation, something Ashley never intended. At the same time, his journal showed the depth of his love for his daughter and his fear of losing her. The prosecution argued that jealousy and control were at the heart of his motive. Ashley had started seeing someone new, and Adam couldn't stand it. More than anything, he was terrified she would leave him for good and take Winter with her. That, prosecutors said, was the breaking point. In the aftermath, Adam tried to disguise his crime as a disappearance. He even called and texted Ashley's phone after killing her, pretending to be concerned, as if he had no idea where she'd gone. But by then, the truth was already unraveling, and his lies could no longer hide it. Before the trial began, Adam's defense revealed that he had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD stemming from his military service. But in the eyes of the court, those details did not absolve him of responsibility. His actions were deliberate, calculated, and devastating. In April 2018, a jury unanimously found Adam guilty of murder. The judge handed down a sentence of life in prison, plus an additional 12 years. Adam later tried to overturn the verdict through appeal, but his request was denied. He remains behind bars to this day and continues to withhold one crucial truth: the location of the rest of Ashley's remains. There is one final heartbreaking detail. After Adam's arrest, custody of Winter was placed in the hands of Child Protective Services. Both sides of the family fought to take her in, but authorities kept the matter sealed, citing her age. What became of her afterward has never been made public. All anyone can do now is hope that Winter was eventually placed with relatives who could give her the stability and love her mother would have wanted for her, and not left to grow up lost in the foster care system. Be sure to let us know what you think of the story in the comments below. And if you like this video, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe. A playlist is going to pop up right now with more videos you'll love. See you guys next time.